Good morning, LCC kids. Happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in for another time in God's Word together. Pastor Evan here, streaming in to your home and your device. And I always love these moments that we get to share together in the Bible. And we're going to jump in just a moment. But first, you're going to have to get up on your feet because the game we're playing today is called Poser. And you're going to have to strike a pose. And you're going to have to not strike the same pose as the computer. Yes, I've got a computer here joining me in studio. And we're going to look at a couple of poses that he'll do. And you don't want to do the same thing that he's doing. Otherwise, you might strike out. So you got a few different ones here. You got the disco pose. You got over on the right there, the Egyptian. You got the foothold. He's grabbing his foot like that. There's the giant with the arms up wide. There's the side kick on that bottom left. And then, of course, there is the prayer pose. So take a moment, study all of these, and just in your own mind, pick one of them. And actually go ahead and start getting ready. And Mr. Luke Collins is in studio with me. He's going to start spinning the wheel. And as these spin, make sure you're striking your pose, but just don't strike out. Let's go ahead, spin away. And if you were doing the disco pose, you got to sit out from here on out. So if you're still with us, let's run a couple more of these. Study, pick a pose. Go ahead and get it set because any moment now, up the giant, if you were doing the giant, you also got to sit back down. How many posers we have left with us? All right, let's do one more. The prayer pose. I'm not sure that's right that you should have to sit out if you were praying, but hey, in this game, you're eliminated. So if you're still in, that's great. Now we got another round coming up with a different game very soon. But in our Bible story today, there were some people who were doing some pretty weird dance moves and striking strange poses together because they thought that would get the attention of the God that they worshiped. But the problem was, the God they worshiped didn't hear, wasn't paying attention because he didn't exist. He was no God at all. And so we're entering today. There's a battle of champions happening. We're entering the God contest. This is one of the most amazing stories in the entire Bible. If you've heard it before, you probably already know what I'm talking about. You'll never forget it. It's about Elijah's confrontation, his contest with the people who served the false god Baal. Now, if you remember from our study last Sunday, remember God sent Elijah to his people because his people began to turn away from him and neglect him and worship this other god named Baal, who was supposed to control the wind and the rain and make the crops grow. And they weren't saying, you know what, we don't worship Yahweh, the name of God in the Bible. We don't worship Yahweh anymore. It's just they wanted to add on something else, just in case. Because we need crops to grow, we need food to eat, and maybe Yahweh won't come through for us, maybe he won't take care of us, but maybe Baal will pitch in and help. That's called idolatry. And a lot of times when people worship idols, it's not because they just totally deny and don't believe in God. It's just they look to other things that they also think that they need in order to be taken care of and to be loved. And we can do that too. We might not worship some god named Baal, but there might be other things that we think we really need in order for me to be happy and life to be okay. And they thought that as well. And that's why God shut up the heavens and didn't send any rain for 7 years. But Elijah comes and says, hey, it's time, Israel, for you to make a decision. Stop going back and forth between Yahweh and Baal and thinking you can have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. All right, this is a relationship of trust and love and commitment to God. You can't have other gods before him and still say he is first. It just doesn't work like that. And so they set up this contest to discover which God reigns, which God rules over everything, which God is real and in charge over the weather, over life itself, over everything in creation. And so they create these two these altars that were set up out of stone, and they put wood on top, and they took two cows, because back then they would sacrifice cows and animals as a way of recognizing their need for God. And so they put a cow on one altar and one on the other one, and they said, this is Yahweh's altar right here. This is Baal's altar right here. And whoever answers with fire, whoever lights up, put away your matches, put away your lighter, God has to supernaturally light this altar on fire. And whoever does it, we'll know he's the real God. He really hears, he really acts and listens, and we'll worship him. And so Elijah says, all right, all you people who want to serve Baal, you go first. I'll let you go first on this one. And they start making all these noises and singing these songs and posing and dancing around, and they're getting so tired, and they're beating themselves, thinking that maybe if I hurt myself, Baal will answer me. Kind of strange beliefs there. And yet, nothing happens. And Elijah, he kind of taunts them a little bit, because he wants them to see what's really going on. So he says, I don't know if you're calling out loud enough. Baal might be on vacation. Maybe he's asleep. Maybe he's in the bathroom. All right, 5 more minutes and he'll come out of the bathroom and help, I'm sure, right? That's what he's saying to these people, because he wants them to realize the God that you think is God is no God at all. Now, we're going to find out what happens next in the contest of gods in just a minute. But let's have our own little contest. We're going to play a classic round of rock, paper, scissors. Not so classic because you're going to be once again competing against the screen. But hey, let's roll with it. You know how to do it. You have to do rock, paper, scissors, and whenever I say shoot, Mr. Luke's going to click the button to make the computer choose what he's going to be, and you are having to beat, paper beats rock, rock beats scissors, scissors cut paper. If you tie with the computer, you're out. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and pull open our first round, spin it up. And rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, if you had paper, you win. If you had rock or scissors, sorry, you are out. All right, a couple more. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors. All right, if you were paper, you're all cut up. If you're scissors, you tied, and that doesn't work right now, so you got to be rock, and you win. Final round in this contest. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And it is paper. All right, so if you had rock, you lose. If you had scissors, you win. If you had paper, that's a tie, and that doesn't work. All right, back to the God contest. All right, it's a question of which God reigns, rules over everything. It's also a question of which God reigns. Which God is going to rain down fire, and maybe do another kind of rain in just a moment too. And so the prophets of Baal go on until they're tired and their feet hurt, and they've done all the posing and dancing they can, but it's clear they're done. And so Elijah says, okay, it's my turn. It's Yahweh's turn. And he has them come and they pour buckets and buckets of water over the altar and over the stone and over the calf and over the wood. And he's like, all right, let's do that one more time. Pour water over it. And they dig a little trench, a little moat around the altar and fill that with water. I don't know if you know this, but water and fire don't tend to mix together real well. It's hard to light a match, the bottom of a swimming pool. It doesn't really work like that. Water puts out fire, unless it's God fire, unless it's supernatural. And so they do that. And Elijah doesn't dance, and he doesn't beat himself, and he doesn't do any of that. He just prays. He just says, God, prove your reality to these people Show yourself that we might trust you. And then, fire rains down from heaven. And it says it burns up the altar, it burns up the wood, it even burns the water, right? This doesn't happen normally, but this is the same God who made a little bush be on fire without burning. He made water burn up until it was gone. And it was clear Yahweh is the one true living God. He's not a fake. He's not like the pretenders. He's not like the counterfeits. And so Elijah called for the people to trust in the Lord, and then God sent rain. He didn't rain down fire on all of Israel. They deserved that because of their idols. But he sent rain, water, mercy, so that the famine would be done, so that they could once again have crops that would grow, because there was all that drought that came when they were looking to Baal, but God is the one who gives us rain and rains his blessing. And I love this picture in this story, right? Amazing power and amazing mercy. And you know where else you see that? You see that in the cross of Christ. You see that in Jesus, who came because of our idols, because we were like, yeah, God, we want you, but also this and also our own way. Can we have it, all of that together, please? It doesn't work like that. That's called sin. And Jesus came and he died, and you could see, it felt like all creation was falling apart. It became dark even in the middle of day because he died. There was power, but there was mercy. And God has rained his mercy on his people ever since. And so he deserves us to trust in him completely and not try to add anyone or anything else to him. Believe in Jesus and Jesus alone. All right, kids, I hope you're putting your trust in him. I hope these moments we share together in the Bible build our faith together. It's always fun to do. Would love to see you on Sunday mornings as well. So come out, hang out with us at church. We're going to be having classes available in February for everybody, first grade down. So excited to be able to open up together. See you soon.